guys, it's Jackie, and today we're going to talk about PLL Season 6, Episode 8, FrAmed with a capital A. I'm sorry if you have any hard times hearing me in this video. I don't know if you can hear it on your end, but there are people who are currently fixing the roof of my father's house, and they are so loud. Like, sometimes I almost feel like they're inside the house because it's so loud that, like, I can't even hear myself think. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's so loud here on my end. And they also keep, like, dropping shingles from the roof, and I can see them fall to the ground from the window. And I keep, like, out of the corner of my eye thinking, like, a bird just dropped dead or something. But then I'm like, oh wait, it's a shingle. So I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I'm gonna talk as loud as I can, and I turned the volume on my computer all the way up. So yeah, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying and it's not too loud for you guys. Hopefully the recording doesn't pick it up. Alright, so I actually wrote notes this time. Hey, go me! Ooh. That was like 6 at a time. I kind of almost was like, what? Okay, sorry. So, alright. Again, I think I'm just gonna go right into a discussion. I don't know if I really should call these recaps anymore, because I don't really recap, I just kind of talk about it. But I mean, I guess that's because I figure, you know, if you're watching this video, you watched the episode. Like, you would not be here watching it if you didn't see it, like, you know. So that's why I don't really recap them. I kind of just go straight into talking about it. So hope that's okay. And because, you know, personally, I don't really like watching videos where they just recap the entire episode when, you know, I've already seen it. So I just talk about theories and stuff. I don't really recap anymore. So I guess the titles of these videos are misleading. Sorry. But if any of you guys have a problem with it, you know, you can tell me nicely and I'll try to adjust to what you guys want, you know. Just, you know, keyword say it nicely, because, you know, being rude doesn't get you anywhere with me. Alright, so first, this Reese guy is not Charles, because A1, they are making it way too obvious. Like, they would not say, oh my god, this guy looks just like Jason, he's probably Charles, if he was actually Charles. We all know that. He's another red herring. Like, they shouldn't call it Summer of Antics, they should call it Summer of Red Herrings. Because, let's see, there was Andrew, Leslie, this Reese guy, Clark possibly, like, now they think Clark is A-team, and I'm just like, oh dear God, seriously? Seriously? Like, we all know that none of them are Charles. Like, we all know that, right? Like, so why are you wasting our time going down this road? Like, we all just want answers. Stop playing us. Like, seriously, it's so annoying. So, A, they would not be like, oh, maybe he's Charles if he was actually Charles. We all know that. Like, seriously? When has A ever been someone the girl suspected? Never. Like, when Mona was A, did they ever once think that Mona was A? No. Which is also another reason why now I think that Ren is A, because the girls have never said, what if Ren's A? So, you know, he's like one of the only people I never suspected, which is, but, you know, that's a whole other story. And then, 2, I feel like Charles seems to be very smart, calculating, ooh, big master plan or whatever. Sorry, I just keep getting freaked out as they drop all the stuff down and it, like, hits the window. I'm just like, what was that? Sorry, I'll try to focus, but it's just so distracting in here. Actually, it's pretty quiet right now. Hope it lasts. Probably won't. So anyways, what was I saying? Okay, this Reese guy, yeah. So, and Charles is not an idiot. At least, I don't think he is. I think he knows what he's doing. And I honestly don't think that... Do you honestly believe that Charles did not change his appearance at all? Like, his death was faked. You know, if he's gonna be around Rosewood, he doesn't want anyone to recognize him. So I think he definitely could have changed his hair, put in color contacts, done something like that. Hell, you could even say maybe he got plastic surgery. Like, I do not think he looks like a De Laurentiis anymore. So that's just what I think. I think he, you know, needs to be disguised, hidden in plain sight, so he's not going to walk around looking exactly like Jason. That just, I don't think so. And so yes, I do not think, is anyone buying that this Reese guy is Charles? And, you know, also, point C. Marlene said that Charles is someone we've seen before, so we just met Reese last night, so he can't be Charles then. Because unless Marlene's lying, which, she lies a lot, but she said that Charles is someone we've seen before. So I want to believe her on that. And also because, she said so many people guessed A's identity in their theories. Like, none of us said, yes, there's going to be a businessman named Reese and he is Charles. No one said that. Like, it has to be something that we could have possibly figured out, So that's why this Reese guy is not Charles. And I saw a lot of people saying they thought it was weird that, who was it? Caleb was credited in this episode, Tyler Blackburn, and someone else. Was it like Janelle Parrish or something? I don't remember who the other person was. But they were like, oh, their names were in the credits, but they weren't in this episode. Guys, this happens all the time. Because when you are a main cast member on a show, you are still credited in the opening credits, even in episodes in which you do not appear, because you have main cast billing. So even if Caleb, for example, is not in the episode, the opening credits will still say Tyler Blackburn, because he's a main cast member on Pretty Little Liars. So even if he's not in an episode, they will still put his name in the opening credits. It does not mean anything. So I guess it would be a different thing if it was like a recurring character who was still credited, even though they didn't appear. Like, that would be a little weird. But it wasn't. It was main cast members, so that's just why. You don't see Keegan Allen's name in the opening credits when he's not in an episode because he's only a recurring cast member. Speaking of, does anyone know why that is? Like, is it just Keegan's personal preference, or does the network just not have the money to pay him, or do they just not want him to be a main cast member? Because I want him to be a main cast member. Yes, I really want him to be a main cast member. Because I love me some Keegs. And, Spoby, and all that, so, yes, But anyways, that is why the names were still in the opening credits, even though they didn't appear. That always happens on every show with main cast members. Like, isn't Laura Layton still credited as a main cast member? So her names are in the credits a lot of times when she doesn't appear. Last time I checked, she was still a main cast member. I have no idea why. Like, no offense to Laura, but, like, let's kick her out and put Keegan in. Yeah, like, he's much more important than Mrs. Marin. Like, I love me some Mama Marin too, but I love me some Toby more. I would rather have him be a main cast member than Hannah's mom. She is still a main cast member, right? Last time I checked, she was, and I don't know why. Like, she's barely in the show. Why is she still a main cast member? Maybe, like, Laura Layton she won't be on the show unless she gets main cast salary. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about the meaning of the title. My first thought was, okay, well, the episode is called FrAmed, but no one was framed in this episode. I thought that was weird. And so I started thinking about it. Well, framed could be kind of like I guess a pun is what I want to say, because, picture frames, and there's the whole premise with Aria's art show thing. So I thought, okay, maybe that's what it refers to, but now I wonder if maybe it has a double meaning, like that, but also when we see Tanner looking at that footage at the end, I think it's Reese that is the one who switched out the photos. That's what I thought. I mean, we only really saw his back, but I think maybe that was the point. I don't think this Reese guy is Charles, like I said, but Charles could have hired him because Reese looks like Jason. Perhaps he wanted Reese to switch out the photos, knowing he would be caught on the surveillance, hoping that Tanner would think it was Jason because she only saw his back. I mean, I don't think they look that much alike from the front, like they kind of do, but I do not think you can mistake him for Jason. Like, when Emily says, why do you have a picture of Jason on your phone? I was like, he doesn't look that much like Jason. But from the back, yeah, he could totally pass off as Jason if you don't see him dead on. So maybe that's the point. Maybe Reese was meant to frame Jason for being the one who messed with the photos. Anyone else think of that? That's just, I was mulling it over and I just thought of that. And I forgot to write this down. So while I'm still talking about Detective Tanner, she says that the non son lindas has two meanings. It could mean they are not pretty, which I actually knew from my Spanish classes. I saw and I went, they are not pretty. I knew what it meant. Linda is pretty or beautiful in Spanish. Or it could also mean they are not Lindas, like Linda the name, because Tanner's first name is Linda. And I just kind of wonder, she said that Charles is basically saying to her that he can dig up anything he wants about her past, which kind of makes me wonder, why is he interested in threatening Tanner, like, with her past? What does that have to do with anything, you know? How does that fit into this, you know? Is there more Detective Tanner than we realize? I mean, I don't know if I said this before. Lieutenant. She's a lieutenant. Sorry. Tanner, whatever. You know what I mean. She's a lieutenant, though. Something that, I don't know if I mentioned this before, it's just, I guess it's just a plot hole, but when did Tanner become the boss of the Rosewood PD? Like, in season 5, we saw, you know, Toby taking orders from her and all this. Originally, Tanner came in as from the state police with Holbrook to solve Wilden's murder, yet here she still is being the boss of the Rosewood PD now. Like, how exactly does that happen? I mean, it's probably just a plot hole, or, you know, maybe it's not. Who knows? That's weird. It doesn't make sense. I guess they just wanted Tanner to stick around, so they were like, let's make her the boss of the Rosewood PD. Whatevs. But that doesn't make actual sense. Alright. Now, why was Clark meeting this Reese guy? Now, it is definitely possible that Clark is an A minion who was hired to get close to Arya. Yeah, I guess. I'm kind of annoyed by it a little bit. I mean, I already am not big on the presence of all this Clark and all this Lorenzo stuff and all this Sarah stuff too, when this is supposedly the Summer of Answers. Like, look, you're saying this is the Summer of Answers, that we're going to find out all this important stuff and solve the mystery, yet you're wasting all this time giving scenes to Arya and Clark and Allie and Lorenzo and Emily and Sarah, and, like, I don't really think anyone actually cares about them. Like, I don't, and you know, if you're going to throw in pointless romantic scenes during the Summer of Answers, do it with Spobie, or Caleb, or even Ezria, or even Emerson. I would rather sit and watch a bunch of Emerson scenes than watch all this Emily Sarah crap, or Allie Lorenzo crap, or any of that. Honestly, I would, because at least the two of them are more important to the show, not some newbie who we just introduced. Like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, I really don't care about that stuff, especially considering it's the Summer of Answers. You know, so, but what was I saying? So maybe Clark's an A minion. Okay. Maybe that's why he suddenly showed up. Okay. I saw someone say maybe he's related to Eddie Lamb, like his son or whatever. I would love to know what happened to Eddie Lamb. Like, that guy, I think it was season 5 we last saw him. He was supposed to talk to Ezra, and then he just disappeared. So I kind of want to know what happened to Eddie. Some people thought he was the one in the barrel. Speaking of, we are never going to find out what was in that barrel. We will never find out. I swear to God, we're never going to find out, because we've been told multiple times we're going to find it out, and guess what? We still have no idea, and it's so frustrating. Someone said perhaps Clark and Reese are gay lovers, which that could actually be plausible, because Marlene did say before we were going to get a gay male character, and according to those Drunk Gate spoilers, which may or may not be true, Clark is supposedly gay according to those, so, you know, maybe they were meeting up for, you know, sex. Or, you know, maybe it could actually be a misunderstanding, and maybe Clark saw Reese switch the photos, and so he was like, hey, I want to talk. Meet me somewhere. And Reese was like, okay, let's go meet here. And Clark met him there to talk about it because he caught Reese doing it. Maybe that's it. All possibilities right there. I think it's probably just, it's going to be like, maybe the latter. Maybe he's a minion. I don't know exactly why. Like, you'd think, because Clark talked to Ari about this this art competition, and didn't they say that the winner gets to go to California or something? And like, why would A want Arya away from Rosewood? A would want them all to be together so it's easier for him to terrorize them. So I don't really know why he would enlist Clark for that. I sadly don't really think he's Eddie Lamb's son. Maybe they're meeting up for a gay tryst. Maybe Clark just saw Reese. Possibilities. Alright, then let's talk about Allie and Lorenzo, which, like I said, I really don't care about Lorenzo that much, but we'll talk about this because I did have some feelings about it. I do get why Allie wants all these answers. I would too. I don't think it was fair, though, for her to, you know, take Lorenzo's badge. I was wondering at first, I was like, when did Allie become Lorenzo's housewife? I was like, this is so weird, because she was like, oh, I made you soup, I'll do your laundry, blah, 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 and I was like, Allison, you okay? But anyways, I just don't really think it was fair for her to do that because, Lorenzo's gonna get in trouble for this. Like, Tanner caught her. She knows she had Lorenzo's badge. For all Tanner knows, Lorenzo gave it to Allison. He could get in serious trouble because of what Allison did. And while I mean, I don't want to say that, I don't think she meant for Lorenzo to get hurt, but I just think she wasn't really thinking about Lorenzo when she did it. Do I get that she wanted answers? Yes, I do feel bad for Lorenzo, actually. Even though I don't really care about his presence, I feel bad for him because, she went behind his back and took it. And, she could cost him his job. He could have repercussions for that. And, she even said to him, even if you had said no, I still would have done it. So, I don't think that was really fair. But, Okay, let's talk about Charles and Red Coat. They are definitely working together. We actually saw 2 A scenes in this episode, one in the middle and then one at the end. I don't think that's ever happened before. We've never seen A in the middle of an episode. Does anyone else get a couple vibe from the two of them? Is that just me? I don't know why. I just get, a romantic vibe from them. I feel like they're kind of, together in this. Wasn't it Keegan Allen who said that the A story was going to be, a tragic love story or something? Something like that. I think he said that. But I actually saw people on Tumblr being like, yes, I ship Charles and Red Coat. And I wouldn't say that I ship it, but I just get a couple vibe from them. Does anyone else? I don't know. And this is kind of interesting. Normally, when we see Red Coat, we see the long blonde hair, which we always thought was a wig. But this time we didn't see Red Coat's hair. We didn't see any long blonde hair on Red Coat. And I just wonder why that is. I mean, Sarah did recently get a haircut. Just saying. Now, am I saying that I think Sarah is Bethany? No. I would love it if she is. After the last episode, I'm not so sure anymore. Before I was adamant, now I'm eh. Though hypothetically, for all we know, Charles sent Claire to get Sarah because she was too close to Emily and he needed to make sure that she wasn't going astray, and so he sent in Claire to get Sarah back for him. And because, we saw Claire before say that, Sarah wasn't that great a person, and she was kind of relieved that Sarah was gone. But now all of a sudden she goes and sees Sarah and says, you can live with me if you want. So how do we know that she wasn't listed by Charles? Yes, like I said before, Sarah knew things that only the real Sarah would know. But then again, how do we know she didn't, internet stalk Sarah's friends? How do we know that if Claire was enlisted by Charles, she didn't tell Sarah these things beforehand? So I'm not saying that I think Sarah is Bethany still, but it could be possible, and I just think it's weird that we didn't see Red Coat's hair this time. Because before we always did, and this time we did not see it. And also, how does Black Widow come into play? Is Red Coat also Black Widow? Is Black Widow good or bad? That's something that I'm not really sure of. And I'm just really confused because Marlene said that Black Widow was Endgame, but we're going to find out who Black Widow was before the end of the summer, supposedly. So then Black Widow's not Endgame if we're going to find out this summer. Unless it's a thing where we, the audience, find out, but the girls don't, and Black Widow will be back to terrorize them in 6B and Season 7. So I don't know exactly how that's going to play out, because Marlene did say Black Widow was Endgame, so that's a little confusing. And I'm just going to talk about, really quick, this is a long video actually, the things we're supposedly going to find out in the finale and what I think might happen. So things we will supposedly find out. Who killed Toby's mom? Something that's been driving me nuts. I really want to know because they just dropped that storyline and I want to know what its relevance was. And also, I really want answers from my baby Toby. Just saying. Who hit Allison with that rock? Another thing I would really like to know. Who is Red Coat, obviously? Good question. Who killed Bethany? Now, this is a little confusing because they did phrase it in the press release, who killed Bethany. But I thought it was confirmed that Melissa technically killed her because she buried Bethany Young while she was still alive. So isn't the real question, who hit Bethany in the first place? Or does that mean Melissa didn't really kill Bethany? Because I thought we were told Melissa killed Bethany because she buried Bethany while she was still alive, thinking that Bethany was dead and Spencer attacked her. Is that not the case, or is that just, like, worded poorly? I don't know. We're going to find out who Black Widow is and, you know, why A is going after these girls, why A is A. That's a very good question. I would really like to know why A is A, because right now I just really can't think of a reason why Charles would go after the liars. I said before, maybe they attacked Bethany. Maybe that's why, and that's why Charles hates them, because I feel like Charles and Bethany were like a thing. They were together, in love, friends. She was his surrogate sister, whatever. They cared about each other. They seemed to have a thing going on. Like, they escaped together, supposedly. They were like this. So I feel like that's very important. And I just can't think of another reason why he would hate these girls so much. Like, what did they do to him that made him think this was okay? Like, I just don't know. I also kind of think perhaps we will see Charles's face at the end of next week's episode. Next week's episode is the prom. Because we did see the girls, you know, staring shocked in their prom outfits. So maybe it'll end with Charles's face, and then the answers will follow in the summer finale. You know, end next episode with a cliffhanger where we see, you know, Ren is Charles, or whomever. I still say Ren. I'm gonna do a video on who can and can't be Charles, and honestly, Ren is like the only person who can be at this point. So, you know. And I was going to say something else. Look, they got to answer all those questions in one episode, right? And I hope they answer them well. I don't want it just to be Charles sitting there going, yeah, so-and-so killed Toby's mom, so-and-so hit Allison, so-and-so killed Bethany, blah, 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 blah. I want to, like, actually get, like, maybe flashbacks to this stuff. That would be great. Get a more detailed answer. I don't want to just, like, hear Charles sit there and rattle off stuff, you know? I want, like, the full story with all the details. Flashbacks. I want to know what Bethany looks like. I want to see Bethany freaking Young's freaking face. Really badly. I want to see her face. And I think Marlene said we would. So I better see Bethany Young in a flashback. Or, you know, find out that Sarah's Bethany or something. I better know what Bethany looks like. I better. And apparently we're also going to get the start of the time jump in the summer finale, so they gotta throw that in there too. So I really wish it was the 2-hour finale, but apparently it's not because it hasn't been mentioned, but that would have been great. I would have loved a 2-hour finale just to talk about all this stuff. Would have been great. So yeah, that's about it. I think I touched on everything. If I forgot anything, tell me in the comments. Like up the video, subscribe if you want, you know, comment, talk to me. Love interaction with you guys. It's great. And I think that's it. So Charles Suspects video will probably be up this week. I'm gonna do it soon, just whenever I have the time, and that is about it. So thank you guys for watching. Hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.